There's actually just one chart that is completely dictating what happens next for the entire cryptocurrency industry. Today, we're gonna go deep on exactly what's happening now. Spoiler alert, everyone seems like they're about to make ungodly amounts of money just for being in the crypto market. So what happens when exactly this particular moment within the bull run kicks in? Well, I'm gonna be showing you what's happened in the past and making a case for why these specific types of coins are going to outperform the rest and be the best bets, and why I'm investing in them. You're definitely gonna love this one. Smash that like button if you guys are excited. And of course, if you guys want up to the minute calls, make sure you're subscribed with that bell notification on, as we're gonna be putting out juicy altcoin picks for the rest of this bull run. And this audience knows all too well how generous those picks can be, to the tune of 30, 40, 50, 100x. This is not fantasy, this is reality. Strap in, because you're gonna love today's episode. What you see here is the ETH Bitcoin chart. It's essentially charting how valuable ETH is against Bitcoin. So obviously both of these things move up and down, but when Ethereum starts to break out against Bitcoin, that's when big moves can happen in the altcoins. Now what we can see here is that this has happened before, back in 2017, where we got this massive run up here. And this was in the middle of the year in 2017. In fact, the absolute best example that we can pull from is this area here where ETH consolidated and then absolutely ripped up against Bitcoin. You can see this as a more extended version of that, again pointing towards a longer cycle, showing that this one took, about 2 to 3x as long to work its way out when compared to the mid 2017 cycle. So if we are matching the cycle in sort of phases here, you could see this as the middle of the phase of the 2017 bull run. As we know, ETH ripped all the way up and it caused an absolute tsunami of money to flow into the altcoins. So what we can expect here is that one, this looks a little bit like a mid-cycle move for ETH to start wildly outstripping Bitcoin. We would hope that what happens next is we get a massive move up from Bitcoin, which of course creates this downward pressure on the ETH-BTC price, and then we get a nice little rip up to sort of crescendo the end of the bull run. Now, if that's true, that would mean that we're probably looking pretty far out here. Again, going back to Crown TA, he's predicting that this could last until middle end of 2022. And of course, if that happens, that would mean that all of these alts would have so much time to bubble up in their valuations that things could get absolutely crazy. So if this is the case, we could be looking at a absolutely monstrous altcoin season in the very near future, maybe over the next sort of 6 weeks or so. And that could even still only be the middle part of the cycle that Bitcoin then overcomes and makes its run after. So this is crazy what we're seeing here, and what it means and what it feels like is that this entire market is setting up for a massive pump. So which coins am I allocating to? Make sure you watch to the very end, because we're going to be covering that. Let's go over the key points that I wanted to cover here today. And of course, we have the absolute terminator, which is ETH-BTC, coming out with a shotgun right now. Absolutely amazing to see this breakout on the chart that's been consolidating for like 6 months. What's important to realize is that Ethereum is doing this right as we're getting ZK-Rollups layer 2s starting to perform as they were intended, which is, in my opinion, the next mega trend. It's super bullish for Ethereum for these reasons. Let me explain why. Okay. Why are L2s bullish for ETH? Simple. They dramatically increase the reserve demand for ETH. NFTs are traded in ETH, Uniswap, and other DEXs mostly rely on ETH pairs. L2s pay L1 for security in ETH, and L2 rollups allow us 100x more the capacity of Ethereum. L2s bring together the value trinity of secure, fast, and cheap. It's very hard to find all of those things together, yet ZK-Rollups effectively make those possible at scale, and they rely on Ethereum and the base chain. This is huge, and it makes Ethereum as a token, as a currency, as well as Ethereum as a chain for security, one of the most important places ever to be created. Again, super bullish, and this is right as that ZK-Rollup mega trend is starting to bubble. I can tell you from experience that the first drop here on Superfarm's Immutable-X ZK-Rollup Launchpad is one of the best experiences for minting that we've seen. Everyone who was lucky enough to mint this project, the comments were all filled in the Twitter feed about how smooth the minting process was. It confirms almost instantly, zero gas. This is what we've wanted out of our blockchain ecosystem forever. And it's pretty cool to see Highrise Creature Club here now crushing it, almost $3 million in secondary sales, by far the highest here in the last 7 days, and on its way to crushing the 30-day and 90-day crowns here on Immutable-X. So definitely Unfortunately, if you guys missed that drop, they're going for about 6x, about 0.3 here on the secondary market, and you can check them out on tokentrove.com. Absolutely crushed it. The NFTs haven't even been revealed here yet. So we're extremely proud about how this drop went. Super exciting to have the most successful drop yet on Immutable-X, and this positions Superfarm's Launchpad as the de facto go-to for the highest quality NFT drops in the entire space, especially those on L2. And again, this is about being part of mega trends and being leaders within those mega trends. So going back here, remember the trends that we've been shining a light on. ZK-Rollups and Metaverse/gaming seem to now suspiciously be widely held as the beliefs that everybody thinks are the core focuses of the industry. Maybe we have a few more fans watching the channel than we had originally thought. But it's important that you realize that this is a mega trend that you can make a crazy amount of money from. And understanding that Ethereum is now being pushed by this massive technological improvement in ZK-Rollups that do not exist and are not being supported anywhere else but ETH for now. So understand, this is an ETH native mega trend that is going to push Ethereum, although unusable on layer 1, to extreme new heights. And then when you couple the fact that everyone would rather have their NFTs on Ethereum, you start to throw in NFTs, gaming, it all starts to come back to Ethereum with this scaling technology. So understand, this ETH chart is massive, and the projects that are positioned well to benefit from this ETH movement, the marketplaces, the DEXs, the games built on Ethereum and within this ecosystem, those types of projects might get massive growth. And it's even attracting some funny comments from people like Suzu, who had abandoned ETH a few days ago, but now said, okay, nice revenge bod ETH, not gonna lie. That's pretty funny. Bullish abandoning, says Fiscantes. That's pretty funny. Obviously, if you guys are following the culture here, we're joking that ETH was abandoning their users. Now we're joking bullish abandoning. This is just a bunch of jokes, but what you need to understand is that ETH is so bullish that no one can deny it. And the scalability being rolled out for ETH over the next few months, this is history being written, and you can be a part of it. We have Kobe saying 1 ETH equals 1 BTC. That seems a little crazy, and if we got there, that would probably be the very tail end of the cycle. We have imagine the BTC maxi cope if ETH flips BTC. Now, I don't even think this is that crazy, as it's only a few X's out of ETH to go and flip the king BTC, and ETH is so bullish. There's so much technology, so many products, so much innovation. The thought that it wouldn't flip BTC is almost crazier, but we'll have to see how deeply ingrained these dogmas are. Now, another thing we love about ETH is that it's now becoming deflationary. So we have sound money in Bitcoin or gold with a capped supply here. And then we have ultrasound money where it goes up and then it actually comes down in supply as it becomes deflationary. Very interesting graphic here. Again, Ethereum as a store of value is a seriously tempting affair. And not to mention that Twitter's new CEO, brrrr, is apparently very bullish on Ethereum. Again, the brain drain, the intellectual excitement around Ethereum and Web3 is something that you can't put a value on. This is where those extreme valuations and ridiculous amounts of funding start to make a lot of sense, because you're starting to see the most important and prominent builders enter the space. And that's a beautiful thing for actually eventually breaking through and having the Facebook-like moment where everybody is using Web3 products. And we have one user saying, well, that didn't take long. And as you can see, you have a Bitcoin address and an Ethereum address, as well as Venmo now, right here natively built into Twitter. Is Twitter about to become the biggest payments rail in the world? And finally, let's talk about the big elephant in the room that nobody's really talking about, but is a huge impact factor here, which is inflation, which is soaring through the roof right now, which leads many to believe that there would be tapering from the Fed, meaning that they'll stop stimulating the economy so much and less money printing. But then we got a new variant of the flu, and that's looking like it could send these plans leftward. Again, I'm not a big believer that there is any other cure that the federal government has right now besides printing money, that the economy is in extremely unstable territory, and that the printer will remain hot for many moons to come, which will send our crypto assets to the moon. But bear in mind, it'll be volatile, so just be braced for some crazy amounts of rhetoric and politics being played here. But in the end, I'm completely sure as to where this train is headed. So we had Solana summer, we've had AVAX winter, blizzard season, but it seems like the ZK super cycle is upon us. And of course, this is happening within the context of the world waking up to the fact that crypto gaming is the ultimate killer app of the blockchain. So combining ZK roll-up scaling with NFTs and gaming, to me, is a no-brainer. I'm not gonna cover the exact projects here because I'm giving you enough cookie crumbs that you can do the research and find these things before they go ballistic. But just for those who need a little spoon feeding, I'm gonna be covering some specific projects this week in a list form. You're definitely gonna wanna have that notification bell on. So make sure you're subscribed with that bell on so you don't miss this one. It's going to be packed with gems, like literally jam-packed with gems. I couldn't be more excited about this bullish momentum in the market, and hopefully this is marking just a midway of this super cycle length bull run. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I hope you guys have been winning alongside me. And if you haven't yet, don't worry, you still have your chance. As always, I'm EllioTrades. You can find me on Twitter at EllioTrades. The link is in the description, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.